Why I collect seltzer bottles is a very good question, and I can't really pinpoint the answer to one event or reason. A lot of people collect stamps and coins and even marbles and much more trivial things than that. And all those things have price guides written about them and books written about them. At least with seltzer, you feel like you're doing something unique. There's really, you can almost say, a handful of high-end seltzer collectors in the country, and maybe only 100 or two that collect at all. No book's ever been written about it. No price guides are out. So it's kind of, uncharted territory, and that makes it interesting to me. They combine advertising, colored glass, kitchen collectible, bar collectible. Judaica was prominently a Jewish industry. Even as a little boy in Brooklyn, we were fascinated by the seltzer delivery man and the fact that you could squirt these seltzer bottles into your glass and all this effervescence would occur. You know, as a little kid, you're fascinated with that type of thing. It's something that a clown would do, or something like Clarabelle on the Howdy Doody show. He used to run around with a seltzer bottle, the Three Stooges, the Marx Brothers, right? But we would wait around for the seltzer man to come. It was a thing we would do in Brooklyn. I actually have a couple of photos here of my older brother. He was 6 by the time we left Brooklyn. I was only 3. He's standing next to the seltzer case, waiting for a fresh delivery. 10 bottles of freshly charged seltzer to our doorstep, and then you could squirt these bottles and shoot them out when your parents weren't looking, have seltzer fights with them. It was a lot of fun to us. Way back around 1953, here's all the boys in Brooklyn waiting for the seltzer man to arrive. It was just a fascination for us. Seltzer was huge back in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. There were hundreds and hundreds of bottlers in most major U.S. cities and thousands of delivery men. At this point, we have maybe 5 delivery men left and 1 bottling plant in the entire East Coast. And on the West Coast also, we have 1 bottling plant in the San Francisco area only, and 1 delivery person. On these shelves over here, I have some of my favorite bottles that demonstrate some of the history of seltzer bottles. Oh, by the way, they're also called siphons in Europe, or siphon. This might have been called a siphon. The earliest example of a glass seltzer bottle, or actually any seltzer bottle, 1860s here. The shape is called an ovoid, kind of like a football. But better be careful, I only ever found 1 of these. These are actually called send-ups. They were used in hotels for room service. They would send them up to your room, so they got the nickname send-up. Over in Europe, I think they call them demis, or little like half pints. This shape over here is called a Marquise. Some people nickname this the Aunt Jemima or the Mae West bottle because it's very shapely, starting off round and tapering to a pyramid shape to the bottom. These are just some of my favorite bottles. Seltzer bottles come in all different sizes. Here's a large one of the biggest ones I have. Here's a tiny little Charm seltzer bottle. I think I got a nice small one in one of my pockets here too. Yeah, we got this little guy here. This was a little novelty item, like a salesman's sample. I collect a different style of seltzer bottle here in the kitchen. This kind of breaks my rule of collecting by shape and color. These are clear bottles with colored paint on them, which is called ACL, Applied Color Labeling. It was kind of a fired-on paint that they invented the process in the 1930s. I mostly collect the Art Deco graphics. I particularly like the ones with waiters on them. I think this is my favorite waiter, this comical guy here. I keep these white styrofoam pellets inside to show off the graphics of this black and white and red ACL. The Zebra Room. Los Angeles, the Townhouse Hotel. How many of these could there have been? This one's rare and it's quite beautiful. It's got the graphics of the prancing and dancing zebras on it. I've never seen another, and I doubt they had more than a dozen at the hotel back in the 1930s. Check out this one over here. Schmuck Brothers. It's not a pictorial seltzer bottle, but I thought it had kind of a hilarious name. These Schmuck Brothers were at Cleveland, Ohio. I'll put this red schmuck right over here. Here we are in my garage. I have about 1,000 seltzer bottles in here in various stages of disrepair. Along here you can see I have many seltzer bottles that are fully set up with the glass straw inside and the top, and they're ready to be sold at maybe one of my antique malls or on eBay or at the antique shows that I do. Up along there you can see many seltzer bottles that still need their tops and straws installed. And I keep the parts for them along here. There's a box full of the heads. They're made out of metal or pewter. This over here is just about the holy grail of seltzer bottle collecting. Not only is this my largest bottle, it's my most valuable bottle. Worth about $2,000. This is called a Seltzer gin. They were from England in the 1880s. The date is right here on the collar. It says January 12th, 1886. The reason it's valued so much is because of its elongated shape. Nobody I've ever met has seen another example of this shape. Usually they were just two cylindrical bubbles. They call those the double bubbles. This is its male counterpart. This baby is massive. Some of my favorite bottles are on this windowsill over here. This might be my absolute favorite. This is a pink bottle, the footed bottom, with concentric circles going around the entire bottle. It's from Geneva, Switzerland, and has a pink straw inside. This one's from France, and it's also a pink or peach colored bottle with a red, white, and blue straw inside. Very collectible. This is a half-size Vaseline glass bottle. Vaseline glass has uranium in it and will actually glow under a black light. It has a cobalt straw inside. A very rare bottle. I'd like to show you one more. This is a cobalt blue half-size seltzer bottle. This is true cobalt, opaque, you can't barely see through it. Very rare to get this color. This is an extremely valuable bottle. I saw one go on eBay for $850.
How are your friends feeling about your father's habit?
My friends think seltzer bottle collecting is kind of weird, but the whole time I lived in this house and the house before this, seltzer bottles were almost everywhere.
Collecting seltzer bottles has been my passion for over 30 years. In the 1970s, when I lived in New York, I had a few green and blue ones, and I thought those were rare. But now, with the influx of eBay and all the gorgeous bottles coming in from Europe and South America, I've kind of honed out my collection to 135 beautiful and unique seltzer bottles. However, I have about another 1,000 out in my garage that aren't part of my collection, and I have a mini storage unit with 5,000 others, not including the 12,000 at a secret location in Los Angeles. Different varieties of seltzer bottles have been around for over 140 years. And hopefully with collections like mine, they'll be around for a lot longer for people to enjoy in the future.